What's up, everybody? This is Phil Rogacki.
And I'm Jared Abergina.
You're listening to Two Tree Guys Podcast.
It's a pleasure to be here again on the podcast. We love being here. Eric Palacios here, guest host on Two Tree Guys. And we got my buddy Cameron from Sennebogen here, and we'll be talking to him a little bit about his career, what he does in the industry. So let's get right into it.
Sure.
Cameron, it's a pleasure to see you again.
Yeah.
Very good looking guy, by the way, man. No homo, you know, but no, that's why I told Greg, I'm like, Greg, like it actually gets recorded, you know, on a video too. So like Cameron's a lot better looking than you. So let's get a friendly face on there, you know.
Face of Sennebogen.
Yeah. But so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
Full name, where you're from, how you started in the industry.
Yeah. Cameron Kuklick. I started in the industry in between my junior and senior year of college. I was just a ground guy for my local Davey office. When I graduated, I started climbing for them. I climbed for a year. I did trail work in California for 6 months. I came back to Davey, climbed for another year. I had the pleasure to do tree work in New Zealand, so I moved to New Zealand for 10 months. And that was, it wasn't like technical tree work. We were doing more like roadside maintenance, kind of like just grunt chainsaw work. But I was in New Zealand, so that's what I was mostly concerned about. Just a really beautiful country. But yeah, very, very little climbing.
Did you get married to a woman from New Zealand?
No. I met plenty of New Zealand women, but
are you married?
Didn't pull the trigger. No.
Okay,
But
good.
as much as I travel, it's tough.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. How old are you, Cameron?
30. Just turned 30.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Yeah, about a
What's your
month ago.
birthday?
October 11th.
Oh, okay, cool. My little girl is on the 26th. My
Okay.
brother's on the 23rd.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, so we got a bunch of people from October in our
Sure.
family.
Yeah, it's a good month to have your birthdays.
So what were you doing in college? Like what were you going to college for?
A bunch of different things. I started out doing biology at Virginia Tech. I was part of the ROTC program. So I thought I wanted to go in the military. I gave it a shot for 2 years. It didn't really pan out. Decided, you know, this isn't for me. Transferred to JMU and got my English degree. Mostly just because I needed to graduate. You know, my parents just really wanted me to get a degree. I didn't really know what I wanted to study.
Yeah, you didn't know how to speak English properly,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
you rather.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't get a minor or anything. I just graduated with my bachelor's in English, and I fell in love with tree climbing. So
Wow.
I still haven't really used my degree to this point, which I'm sure a lot of English majors can say.
You speak very well. If that
Thanks. Yeah,
counts for
there you
anything.
I owe it all to JMU. Those 2 years of getting drunk.
Big
and playing
shout.
video games.
Big shout out to them out there. We're in Virginia.
Yeah, I was in Virginia,
Big
yeah.
shout out to to them out there in Virginia. So you get into like you work for Davey.
Yeah, it was a Davey office. At the time, it was Carrot Trees. It was outside of DC, maybe 40 minutes outside of DC. So, it's climbing. Eventually, I got to be a crew leader, foreman. I was a climber for crane removals and whatnot. Eventually, I got into sales. So, when I got back from New Zealand, I was like, all my resume says is tree work. I want to start branching out, developing my career a little bit. So I got certified as an ISA. Eventually got into sales. But at the time I made a LinkedIn. It was kind of like networking, and Sennebogen found me through a recruiter actually.
Wow.
So that was late 2019. I interviewed with them in the last TCIA show in Pittsburgh. And the ball got rolling then. It was another 6 months before I finally accepted the job offer. By then the pandemic had began, so I accepted a new job, moved to a new city, all during this the pandemic, which was unique. And then to be traveling every week for my new role during the pandemic was incredibly unique. I had a very different experience of the lockdown and quarantine than my brother, for example, who was working from home the entire time. So
what does he do?
He's works for Capital One in Richmond.
Oh, okay.
Richmond, Virginia. So he was working from home, just completely like stuck in his house. Meanwhile, I'm traveling all over the country, like traveling more than I've ever traveled in my life.
Right. Essential services, man.
Yeah, I guess.
Big shout out to your brother. What do you got in your wallet? that is Capital One,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
like,
I think
hopefully
so.
we're not giving someone else a
good.
shout out. So
Capital
you
One advertising.
right? So you get into the tree game, and then you learn how to do climbing?
Yeah, I
How-
learned the
you
basics.
become a
I
ISA
was
certified
never,
arborist?
I was never like the best climber or anything like that, but I was a competent climber. Good
I
enough to
don't
do
look at me. I
creative
wasn't the best climber ever. Like,
I enjoyed it though. I loved it a lot. It was definitely my passion for 5 years or so. It was like
Yeah.
I just loved being outside, just doing a really cool, interesting job.
That's awesome.
Uh,
So you do that, and then they recruit you for Sennebogen. So
Yeah.
you've been doing Sennebogen now for how long?
Year and a half, a little over a year and a half.
Year and a half.
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, I love my role with the company. I love
So
the way the company's
tell us a little
structured.
bit of the role.
Sure. So I'm the tree care specialist. I work with the tree care division. My boss sells the equipment. I am kind of sales support. So after sales support, I'll help deliver the machines.
Do familiarization.
Familiarize new operators with the buttons, the controls, basic techniques. So I'll help deliver a machine. I might spend 3 to 4 days with a new operator. We'll swap seat time. I'll just shoot the breeze.
Yeah.
Do a little bit of coaching, and then also like showing off what the machine is capable of. Because when you're a new operator, you don't know.
You don't want to
The
take big
limitations
pieces. You don't
are
want to
like
do
that, yeah.
this. You don't want to do that.
So
what a fun job, man.
It's a mix of like, just like showing the customer the company's face, but then also get into the nitty gritty of training and whatnot.
Absolutely.
But then I also do demos. So if prospective customers will deliver a machine, I'll work on their job site for a day or two, and they'll get a better feel for if they want to incorporate the machine into their business model. So those are my two kind of bread and butter things: the delivery of the machine, the familiarizations, and then the demos.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
then
awesome. And you
if I have
travel
a-
around the country doing
Yeah,
this.
every week going somewhere new. If it's a slow week, I'll visit a customer and just do some social media stuff, get some videos, get some drone footage, put it up on TikTok.
You guys do that?
Instagram. Yeah,
You guys
that's-
record that?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
So that's like the third aspect of my role is like if there's a slow week or whatnot, collect footage. And,
I do a lot of consulting for companies, and one of the biggest companies that I work for is Series Environmental.
Mhm.
I don't even know how many we have at this point. I'm pretty sure we got like 6 or 7 or
Sure.
something like that.
Yeah.
I personally love the one on tracks.
Yeah.
I wish we'd get you out there a little bit more. I know I talked to you about maybe coming up there and
Yeah, we'll do
because
it.
I think we bought them. We're like, we don't need anyone to come and teach us how to do this shit. I mean that's more of the corporate guys that said that. But
Yeah.
I've always been I do training and safety and training there.
Sure.
So I'm like, where's the guy that does the familiarization? So we don't need him. I'm like, no, we need him to come out here. So
It's helpful, yeah. I've
Yeah.
been with crews that they didn't know what it could handle, so I took a relatively, it wasn't even a huge top off a pine out in California for a crew, and they're like, oh, it can't handle that. Just plucked it off and like laid it down, full control. And just, it helps if you haven't tested the boundaries of the machine to see an experienced operator use it.
yeah.
So even just something for that, or just the, building the relationship between the manufacturer and the customer is really helpful as well.
I pronounce it Sennebogen.
That's correct. Most of the Californians pronounce it incorrectly. They pronounce Sennebogen.
Sennebogen.
Yeah.
California people, man. I just work there. So I just run my business out of there. I'm originally from Texas, as you
Okay.
well know. We met in Texas down there. But that's a common one that I go like, how do you pronounce that?
Yeah.
I'm like, I pronounce it Sennebogen.
Well, it's the company owner's last name. It's a family-run business.
His name's Eric, right?
Yeah, Eric Sennebogen.
What a great
so just
guy.
imagine
What a great
like,
guy already.
The entire half of the continent's mispronouncing your name. Oh, it's
That
Sennebogen.
happens a lot with me though. Like my name's not on the machine, but my last name is Palacios. And people chop it up.
How's it spelled? Let me see it. Is it on
I don't
here?
know if it's on here, but
That's just
it
your first
could
name.
be.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
no, there it is.
Palacios.
Yeah.
I would get that.
You get that. But so where are you going next? I know we're at the show right now. We're gonna be hanging out here in Indy. We're enjoying the time out here. Where's Cameron going after this? You're making some deliveries. I think one of the machines up there is going to
the
AAA, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
AAA in Southern California.
Okay.
And I've never been to Southern California, so hopefully I'll help deliver that
You
machine.
will like that area that they're working on. We've done some subcontract work for them. It's a great company, AAA. They got a great logo. Have you seen their logo?
Yeah.
That's a cool logo.
Uh-huh.
It's a great part of of Southern California. It's not like bum Southern California. It's like the cool part of it. So
Would I fly into San Diego?
I think
and
you're
then
gonna
drive
fly
north?
into Fresno.
Oh, okay.
Into
Drive south.
Fresno and then drive a couple hours from
Okay.
there.
Okay.
An hour and a half, a
I've
couple
seen
hours.
Fresno before. Yeah, I still haven't made it down to San Diego.
Okay, I don't think you're gonna go that far down. You
Okay.
know, the utility that they work for doesn't run all the way down there.
So,
but
so where's Series? So let's say in a couple of weeks I have a free week. We team up. I visit your operators with Series. Where are they?
I'm up in Paradise,
Okay.
up in Northern California, Sacramento
Okay.
area, and all that good stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
So that's in the books. I mean, I need to meet with your 6 operators.
I talked to Greg and I told him it would be a wonderful idea if we
awesome.
could get
Yeah.
it. I don't think no one's ever had the formality of a familiarization. Again, I think a lot of the stuff that we get is just like, all right, we bought a machine, we're that good, we're just gonna go out and do it. And do you have customers that do that don't like require you to go there, or do you try to go out there every
We try
time?
to visit everyone, but
Okay.
in California it's tough. Just with the number of machines out there, you kind of fall behind and then try to catch up all at once. So the last trip we went out there was myself and operator from Rhode Island, Kyle from Warwick Tree. So we
I know
kinda
them.
teamed up.
Yeah.
And we visited all the operators with Mountain, and then I split off and visited a crew with Wright. So in that 1 week span, we probably visited like 10 operators. So
Oh, wow.
it's tough to catch up in California, and just since we're based on the East Coast, it's just more difficult that way. So I haven't been with every machine out there, but you know,
I mean,
if
'cause there's
come
a
out
ton
there-
of them now. At
a
one
ton, a
point, they
ton.
look weird. People didn't know what the hell to use them for.
Exactly.
Now everyone wants one. You know, my favorite one is the ones on tracks. It's just, for me, it was a little bit easier to run. I didn't feel. They're not unsafe. I just
None of them are unsafe.
No, but it just feels weird. It feels different.
Well, you can
know,
take it
like
off
when you're
road.
on
If you try to take the tired one off road, it's gonna be very tippy.
Yes.
Yeah, or you get it stuck.
Or I know at least one thing that I had a little bit of an issue was with inclinations, you know, little hilly areas and stuff like that. You know, the one on tracks is just like you set up anywhere, however.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
And, you know, setting up the stabilizers, because they're stabilizers, right? They're not outriggers.
Yeah, they're outriggers.
They're outriggers.
I mean, it's just terminology, right? I don't know.
I don't know.
What's
I
the
don't know.
difference between a stabilizer and an outrigger?
I don't know. We might have to retake off this conversation off air, but and that's the. I think that holds people up, not understanding this machine. You know, not understanding what exactly it is, right? Like, or exactly what how they can integrate it into our business. We have found out really good, like the utility companies and like the Mowbrays and the Mountain and all those that we do training for. We found out that like, oh, it's a great piece of machinery. You know, I think there's still a lot of people in the game that are still.
Well, in California, it's easy because you're just doing tons of removals. Like the number of removals out there is, you know, what, hundreds of thousands of trees are marked right
Absolutely.
now. The trick is for smaller, medium-sized companies who aren't in California. They have the trickier question of how can we.
But Warwick and Northeastern, is that another one?
There's plenty of
I
companies
know Adam
that have
down there.
that's changed their entire business model around it. One of my favorite examples is these two brothers in Wisconsin. It's just the two of them. They have more pieces of equipment than they have employees.
That's the way to do it too now.
And they have a Sennebogen, and so they'll bring it to and they do all residential. They'll bring it to a job, a house, do the removal, track back to their office, bring a log truck and pick up the debris. So, you know, you can be a small company and purchase a Sennebogen 718.
Absolutely.
And build your business around it. But
My
you have to be kind of forward thinking. Like, it amazed me those two guys completely reshaped their business around this piece of equipment that had just came onto the scene.
Well,
it's not like it was they didn't have a model to base it off of.
Right.
Like, it's really impressive.
Well, listen, it's getting harder and harder to hire good people. We don't have enough qualified people out there. We don't have enough people wanting to come into the industry. Machines and robots are kind of like taking over some of it. And to me, like, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, like the climber's losing like this. I'm like, I don't necessarily know. Like, I still need a climber.
Yeah, there's always going to be
there's
trees
always going
that
to be
require climbers.
Absolutely. And like these machines are taking work away from anyone.
Right.
Let me tell you, they're making it easier.
Yeah.
They're making it safer.
It'd be different if climbers are like dying to be hired and they couldn't find any company willing to hire them. But if you're a competent climber, you can be hired by any company in the country.
Absolutely.
So, the
this is changing the game.
Yeah, mechanization is not taking away from climbers. All it's doing is like filling the gaps that the lack of climbers has created.
Yeah. I give my buddy Curtis Foss now a big shout out. He's a smaller company too, and he's getting a second one now.
Yeah,
you know,
he's gonna be growing quick.
So, but it goes back to what you were saying. Like you can be a small company and integrate this piece of machinery on in everything that you do, and it would just be
Yeah.
that
Easily.
much easier and better
Mhm.
for you.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, it's just about thinking outside the box.
so I gotta ask you.
Okay.
You go out there when there's an accident too, or have you guys had anyone flip one over? Or I mean,
We haven't heard it from any major accidents, so I'm sure there's been little stuff here and there, but nothing major enough that we've heard from it.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Nothing. We haven't had anything serious. We had a lot of seat time on them.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you, we have like I don't know, maybe like 7 of them by now, and I mean, I think we've dinged up a bunch of shit on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we got one, and like the first day, someone fell a tree and like completely bashed the boom. But it was such a small tree that it was just funny. Yeah, like we
Yeah.
all did that. We're like,
Yeah.
what the hell, you know? So I'm glad that we don't have that many reports of accidents and stuff like that.
Yeah, like you said, there's been incidents here and there, I'm sure. I've dropped a tree on a gutter before, tore the gutter off a house. I've dinged up the machine. So when they hired me, they didn't have anybody to train me, and so I
Right.
kind of had to learn
Oh,
on
yeah.
my own. So I
They're like,
dinged up a
"Here
lot
you
that
go."
first couple of weeks. Yeah. They put
That's
me in
awesome.
they put me in a mud pit behind our facility in Stanley, North Carolina, with plenty of trees to cut, but it was on a slope on a tired machine.
So with
it's
that
like-
in mind, talk to us about the facility. I talked to the lady up there that's in charge of setting up the scheduling, and
Yeah.
I've been wanting to go up there and just spend a week.
an
It's a
awesome
week,
facility.
right?
For
A
the
lot
training, yeah.
A lot of the training.
Yeah, so this is different than operator training. This is it's for
The maintenance side of things, and
Yeah,
then taking care of the
technicians.
machines.
Yeah,
It's
for our
it's
dealer
something very
technicians.
important, though, Cameron. I
Well,
mean,
it's interesting and unique that Sennebogen does, because we train our customer technicians to the same degree that we train our dealer technicians, and it's free of charge. So if you buy a machine, or if you're a dealer, you send your technician down, you pay for your flight and your hotel, but it's a week-long course. You learn the schematics of the machine.
and it's free.
Yeah, it's free.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
That was like the one thing that I was, because it again with us having 7 of them, and like
have,
we
have you guys sent a technician?
no,
over?
we haven't. That's exactly where I was
Yeah,
going. I'm
yeah.
like, we have these resources available, and that's why we wanted to bring you on. That's why I wanted to bring you on,
Mhm.
so that we can put that out to the industry. Like, I think a lot of people don't look into it much more, or they don't take advantage
Yeah.
that you
Sure.
have that. And I think anyone that's listening to us out there and take advantage of this, right?
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
great
if
opportunity.
you have a Sennebogen and you don't know about it, we offer free training.
There you go.
There you go.
So-
But in addition to our training facility, we have our parts warehouse and then all the office stuff. So it's like $60 million worth of parts, or maybe 40 to 60. I don't know. It fluctuates, especially right now with supply chain issues.
Oh,
But we
man.
have a ton of parts in this warehouse.
No, it. I was just talking to Greg, and he said you guys even had one, a few on in inventory. I was asking him, well, how long will it take for me to get another one? He's like 120 days. I'm like, whoa, that's pretty fast. Compared to everything else in the market right now and how everything's going.
Well, we have the 718s in stock, and then everything else is on back order pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
It still doesn't take much to get them, right? I mean, a 728.
728, I'm not sure how far the backlog is right now. I know they're all claimed for the foreseeable future.
Okay.
Yeah.
All claimed for the foreseeable future.
Uh-huh.
Damn. Well, and this is it. I mean, you got to get into it. People sometimes are like, well, it takes long. Or well, if you don't get in right now, it's gonna take double the time. So
Yeah.
get in line. I tell people, this is what you got to do.
We're by 718, which
Right.
are available right now.
Yeah.
And then learn how to incorporate it in your business, and then get the 728.
It's absolutely. That's what I did with my K-boom. I have a K-boom, and I bought a smaller one. It's
Sure.
106 feet of reach, a 65-ton K-boom.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're like, we'll learn on this little one before we get the
Yeah.
170
Yeah, exactly.
footer, 100-ton, K-boom. So,
Well, in your personal opinion, then what's the pros and cons of a Sennebogen versus the knuckle boom?
you got to understand out there in the industry, people got to understand that there is, it's like chainsaws, right? Like you don't take a big ass chainsaw to do a small tree, or you're gonna do a big ass tree. You don't take a little ass chainsaw.
Mhm.
I think that you need both.
Okay.
You need all of them.
So what tree works best for the Sennebogen? What tree works best for the knuckle boom?
Yes. So residential is really good for knuckle booms. For us in the utility, it helps also with the EVM work, what they call, which is removal of trees along the side of the road. So, getting a climber in there, 100 feet of stick is pretty cool.
Yeah.
We have the grapple saw, it cuts, take the head off, sling the rest of the chunks,
Uh-huh.
dead hazardous trees, no tie-in point. Now we get a really good job briefing, really good documentation of what we're flying cameraing up there and creating a tie-in point with the freaking machine. And when we can't do that, then we got the Cine on tracks that can get further in the woods.
Sure. To
Manage the
more land
material.
clearing almost.
Yeah, manage the material a lot easier.
Sure.
So for me, yeah, those are all the good pros on like having both machines or just finding that they're tools, right?
That's what I've noticed in California a lot. Now that the 728 and 738 have rolled out, the 718 has kind of been relegated to the task of just handling the wood, stacking, processing, stuff like that. And Mountain still uses the 718 for removals, but if you have the 728 next to it, you're going to use that for most of the removals.
Yep.
Just because you have the extra 20 feet of reach.
Yep. Yeah, so it's really cool to be able to have more tools in your toolbox.
Exactly.
I really, people ask me all the time, it's like, what should I get, a K-Boom or a Sennebogen? I'm like, get both.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what to tell you. Like what can you afford right now and what's there? That's another thing. It's like, hey, 120 days. K-Boom, 6 months.
Oh, is that right?
The faster ones.
Yeah.
Everyone else is a year out.
You
A
can
year and a
718
half
today.
out.
And you don't have to put any money down for the first 90 days now, which is a new financing option we unrolled at the expo. So no payments for the first 3 months, so you can figure out how to make money with it before you have to start paying on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I had a little bit of not so good experience when I bought my K-Boom. My stupid finance company paid for the whole fucking thing, and I didn't have it yet. So I was like 4 months deep in payments, and I'm like, where's my machine? Like, my wife's like, all right, you invested the kids' college fund, all my savings. Like, when is the machine gonna get here? And so, but it's a great option that you guys offer. With all that.
No, I think it's good for the smaller companies who they need time to learn how to incorporate it.
Yeah.
I've heard there's a lag time of like getting your sales guys on page with your operator. Like, number one, you need your operator trained up and get them comfortable taking trees around houses, fences, and whatnot. But you also need to get your sales staff to understand what it can and can't handle. What's the right Sennebogen tree? And that's a process. It might take a month or two to get everybody on the same page, learning like that.
Now, Cameron, on those controls, you can program them to do different functions, right? Like if one is already something and I wanted to do something else, did I hear that I could? You can
work with a technician, a dealer technician or a Sennebogen technician to get those swapped over. But
awesome.
It's not as easy as pressing a few buttons on the screen. I mean, you have to swap hoses.
Okay.
And it's not something
you recommend or do too much of.
It's a liability on Sennebogen. So when you do it, you have to sign papers.
Okay.
And basically say like
it's not bad. I didn't bring it up to say like freaking buttons are in the wrong place or anything, but I know some.
We did just do it for a new customer up in Oregon who's used to running controls where it was almost exactly mirrored, and so our technician while we were there swapped it over, and so the customer, found it a lot easier, and all he had to do is sign.
Who was that? Can you say?
Marvin is his first name.
What's the name of the company?
Mountain View, up in Oregon.
Okay.
Mountain View, Salem.
Okay.
Salem, Oregon.
Okay.
New
Big shout
owner
out to them out
718.
there. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That's way cool. Well, it's good to know that it's an option. I mean, so
yeah. It's not. There's no user profiles. There's no like button that you just swap back and forth. So it's a little bit more involved, but it can be done.
Awesome. Well, tune in because we're going to be raffling off of Sennebogen today. Your face.
Entry points are $100,000 a ticket.
Right. It would not be a bad idea. I'm pretty sure you could sell one here today. But no, that's awesome. Bro, I want to thank you so much for taking the time, out of your extremely busy day.
Sure.
I know Greg's like, you can't take them for too long, he said. A big shout out to Greg. He's, what's his actual title? I don't want to call him sales guy.
He's the tree care manager.
Tree care manager.
But he's a sales guy. He's a good boss. Good shout out to Greg.
Totally looks like a sales guy. Yeah, he's one of the best bosses out there. What was that? We're on the podcast. Big shout out to Gage from Where are you from? Omaha, Nebraska. Awesome, bro. Hope you're having a good time at the show, man. Awesome. Check it out. Scope things out, man. No, big shout out to Greg for letting you come on. We'll let you get back to work.
Nice.
Again, we didn't have him on here because we got a camera rolling, and you're a way better looking guy than he is. And he himself said he had a radio face.
Right.
So, it's not that wasn't Eric being a jerk or anything like that. But we want to give Greg a big shout out, Sennebogen a big shout out for everything you guys are doing. We've incorporated that into everything that we do in our industry. And man, I can't thank you enough for all the work that you do, bro.
Sure, no,
thank you so much for everything.
Nice
and yes, really nice chat with you. Stay tuned. Come on out. Hey, how are you? It's
How's it
good
going?
to see you, man.
How are you?
Yeah, awesome, bro. We're gonna have to get a couple of your guys on here on the podcast a little bit later. So let's talk a little bit more. Awesome. Have a good one, man. Yeah, take care. Cameron, again, thanks. I'm gonna walk you over back to your booth so you don't stray away and you go directly back to
I
work.
might want to go explore a little bit.
Right.
There's some food in the exhibitors lounge. so-
Okay, we might go over there
Yeah, there
before we
you
get
go.
there. Well, thanks again. Big shout out to your parents for raising a really good young man, and
Happy
for
to hear that.
and for everything you do in the industry, brother. So
Cool.
thank you
Awesome.
so
Appreciate
much.
it. Yep.
Yep, have a good one. All right, well, we'll be back with another guest on here. We want to thank Cameron for being out here with us, and stay tuned. We're gonna have a couple more guests on here. Eric Palacios signing out.